Hello, I think I'm live. Oh, I can see you, Maxine, so I am live. Hello, lovely to see you. I'm just kind of making sure I can see what I'm up to. How are you this evening? Can you hear me okay? Can you hear me okay? You're making scones, Maxine. Oh, that sounds nice. That sounds very nice. I've just been trying to persuade Mr. G to come and get me set up, and he was in the middle of eating his tea, so I'm a few minutes late going live. I do apologise. Good. You can hear me and you can see me, so I'm not gonna risk the two cameras this evening. I'm not feeling it this evening. I'm just gonna face right down at the desk so that we can get making straight away. Oh, you're eating your tea too, Steph. Hi, Sue. Lovely to see you here. Hi, Ali. Somebody, oh, hello from Australia. Facebook user, so I don't know who you are, but thank you so much for joining us this evening. Hi, Melanie. Oh, you've all been very productive. Alicia's crocheting a baby blanket as well, so everybody's up to something this evening. I hope you've had a fantastic day. It's a bit cool and cloudy here in Leeds, so it doesn't make much difference to me because I'm normally in the garage with the laser cutters, hence my injury, laser cutter injury. I should sue my employers. So yeah, apologies for the plaster on the finger. I've encountered worse, but it was just a little nick. You're just sitting there watching, Adele. Well, you should feel ashamed of yourself. You ought to be joining in with all this productivity that everybody's doing tonight. Have you had your tea, Adele? Is that why? I tell you what, before I start making it, what I'm going to do tonight, I'm going to do a journal page, and I think I'm going to have a play with the lovely So Pretty dies and stamps. And there you go. It's a white on white layout, so that's it. Job done. But before I get into that and into the kind of making part of it, I do want to share a few makes with you that my lovely friend Anne, who's on the design team, but because she's not been so well recently, hasn't really been kind of participating in all the releases fully, but she sent me a parcel of absolute gorgeousness, and I will post it on our Facebook group. But I just also wanted to just take a second while I was live this evening, just to kind of share some of these makes with you, because they are stunning. Anne is really, really talented, and she's made things with both Belinda's Steampunk Pets and Steampunk Farmyard, the Steampunk Menagerie collection. She's used here, I think this is just a washi tape over a tin, which looks stunning. And she's made some gorgeous makes with Olga's bunnies as well. So I just honestly, I find it really difficult to take photos that do justice to makes like this. But look at this. Hi, Belinda. Isn't it just gorgeous? So Anne has coloured in and done a kind of a concertina book that goes in the tin. Use the papers. It is just beautiful. Really beautiful. She's such a talented maker, and I'm so glad to see her making again and just producing such awesome things. I mean, I don't know if you can see here, but the cat has got kind of like goggles that are layered up and a bit of dimension. It's stunning. Hi, Caroline. Good to see you. And she's made a card here again with that cat, and she's done the goggles. I think you've done that, Belinda, in one of your lives, haven't you? Laid up the goggles. I think you were swapping goggles on yours, from what I remember. And here's another one from Anne. Look at this. They're just stunning. They're just stunning. And I'm so rubbish at taking photos and sharing them in the group, and I don't want these makes to go to waste. So I don't know if Anne is on tonight, but they're just beautiful, beautiful things. Yeah, I thought you gave the animals different goggles. And then here's a really pretty make as well with Olga's. I don't know where these one is. She sent me more than one, but getting ready. I think I've put it under a pile of something. So here's Olga's bunnies, and then she's made that into one of those book things that somebody will know the name, where the image goes in. Isn't that beautiful? So yeah, some of our papers, stenciling, and that gorgeous image in the center. Just love them. So if she's not here, I will obviously post these in the Facebook group, but I do want to, it's a tunnel card, Sue, thank you. I do want to say a huge thank you to Anne for sending these through. It's always lovely, isn't it, to see what people do with things. And certainly, you know, when things have kind of been released and then we have a kind of huge explosion of makes with them. Is it pyramage or is it infotage, Ali, if it goes in? I don't know. And then it's great to keep that inspiration coming, isn't it? And I know Belinda's been doing amazing lives with the steampunk animals, but it's been a little while since we've seen those rabbits. While I'm talking about Belinda, she has kindly shared the winner of the giveaway that she did on her live, and I don't know if that person is on the feed at the moment because some of you appear as Facebook users, but the winner, I'm very excited to announce, is Maz Smith. So Maz, I'll obviously put your name and that you're a winner. I will, or Belinda will, in the Facebook group, and Belinda probably will on her page too. And we'll get your goodies out to you. So thank you so much for joining in, commenting, and taking part in that live. So I think, and I know I can see lots of the design team on, so if there's some things that I'm meant to be saying that I forgot to say or need to say later on, give me a prod, because you know what I'm like. I always kind of get carried away with the making and then forget to share the information that you need. So what I thought I'd do this evening is have a play with, so Belinda's been doing fabby makes with the steampunk, so I thought I'd do a bit of shabby chic this evening, and have a play with Charlotte Blackwood's So Pretty stamp set and the die set that we brought out as part of that collection, including the gorgeous buttons. And I literally have less than 10 sets of the buttons left. So this probably will be the last time you see them demoed live unless I restock them. And the gorgeous Pretty Shabby papers, which are stunning. So I'm going to use other things as well. As you can imagine, I've got some of Olga's gorgeous mini background stamps out on the desk here. I've got some washi tape. I've got the sewing pattern stencil. But in the spirit of Why Not Wednesday, I'm not always entirely clear. Oh, hi, Amaz. Congratulations. Yeah. I sent an order to you today, so I should have popped your prize in there, but we wanted to announce it on here first. So yeah, thank you, Maz, for taking part. I can't remember what I was saying then. I can't even, oh yeah, Why Not Wednesday. So I don't entirely know what I'm going to do, but I'm going to create another page in the journal that I started on my last live with Olga. So if you remember, this is the page that I made with, again, the steampunk dog, but we made him into a space dog, the moon and lots of stamping and stenciling in the background and some magicals. So I'm going to carry on in this journal and use it for my Why Not Wednesdays. I thought it'd be nice to look back on at the end of the year. And because I'm doing a shabby layout or a shabby chic layout, what I've done already is put some of our gorgeous wood grain washi tape around the edges of this page. Can you see? So it gives it's a lovely kind of wood effect. It's a wide one, this, so it's you can kind of cover a bit like Anne did with that tin at the beginning with the cogs. You can cover kind of quite big objects with it quite easily. So I use this one a lot. So that's what I've got as my background. And I'm going to obviously then work on a panel. I'm trying to do everything without using this finger. It's going to get messy, isn't it? So I'm going to do a panel, and that's the bit I'm going to decorate and put on the top of the wood grain. So we'll see how that works for us. And I quite like doing that in journals because I get really stressed, and it's ridiculous, I know, but I get stressed about mucking them up. So if this doesn't quite go to plan, I don't need to worry about a page in the journal that I'm not keen on. I can just start again with another piece of card. And that's probably just me. And I know we talk about journals being a place where you just experiment and have fun, but I am a classic for buying notebooks. I love stationery, and then I muck up a page and I have to start another one. I'm sure that is just me, and I probably shouldn't admit that in the live. But yeah, there's something about it. I just do like to kind of, if I'm working in a book, I like to kind of like everything I've done in there. So I'd say there's no, okay, we're all a bit balmy, aren't we? So, somebody says they feel like that too. Oh, I'm so glad. I wasn't sure whether that would be a bit of an odd admission to make. Who else has joined us? Oh, hi Sylvie, lovely. Hope you're well. Hi Julie. Yeah, I think if we're crafters, we've all got a slight stationery obsession. It's probably where some of our crafting started from, isn't it? So I went down a bit of a die cutting rabbit hole this afternoon, and I've die cut lots of the buttons, and I've got them out on my desk. I don't know what I'm going to use specifically, but all I do with the buttons, I've got loads, but this is from another session. Not loads of them. I typically cut them out of pattern paper, and then also cut a couple of layers either out of black cardstock, craft cardstock, white. Just layer one or two of them up just to give the elements a little bit more stability. And then I've got a whole box of embellishments that I can use. And it's a fab way of using your pattern papers as well. That's like wood grain. Can you see that? Wood grain from, I think it's from our Textures paper pad. And some newsprint from the Textures paper pad as well. I don't know if I've got any of those left, but yeah, gorgeous. So I've obviously been cutting buttons out from our shabby sheet papers so that they'll all work with this layout. So I like to have lots of them on hand because I never quite know how many I'm going to use. So I've got those to one side. I have die cut the mannequin. It's a big mannequin from the die set. This is what I've done ahead of time. Hi, Therese. Lovely to see you. It was lovely to see you as well on, was it Saturday in Lee? So, yeah, great to see you. Adele, what is the purpose of journals and what do you do with them? Yeah, I know what you mean. Well, for me, journals is the play. I mean, and I'm sure lots of people will give you different answers, but journals I don't send many cards. If I'm being absolutely honest, I'm probably the world's worst person at sending cards. I make a lot of cards, I put them in boxes, and I forget to send anybody any, which is not ideal. I often make cards as demos when I'm on TV and stuff because they're an easy size and surface to create on. But actually, I don't always want to create things that have got the recipient in mind. Sometimes I want to just enjoy my papers or some stamps and artwork that makes me happy. And if I can keep it all then in a journal, then partly it's my space for playing, but it's something that I can just look back at. It's a bit like, I suppose, scrapbooking, but without the photos, if that makes sense. It's something I can look back at and enjoy the fact that I've been creative, but not always felt there was a pressure on me to have an end product that had to go to somebody else. But it's a really good question, and I'd be interested in what other people say as well. But for me, that's when I buy stamps and look at designs, I'm not always thinking about, will it work on a card? I'm looking at things that make me smile. And then I want to be able to use them for me to enjoy. This is rather than always thinking, oh well, actually I need to make a man's card, so I need to think about what products are going to work for that person. So that's my theory, that's my answer. And I do like having journals. It's back to the stationery thing. I like having books that then I can look through and see what I've been making. So I've die cut the mannequin, and I've die cut it on some white card, and you can see I've already used the well, I obviously put the washi tape on some cardstock and then die cut it to get a wooden mannequin. But I'm gonna decorate the body part of this and layer it on top. That's my thinking. Do you know what? I've been waffling on for so long. Let's get some ink on the paper and then I can do my talking while we're waiting for things to dry and doing the various layers. Hi Diane, lovely to see you. So what I think I'm going to do first and foremost, let me get my mini glass mat from Stamps by Me, because this makes a lovely mopping up palette for when I'm using my distress inks. I'm going to go with, I think, kind of greens and blues. Hopefully Olga's not online to hear me say that, but this paper from the pad has got a really kind of lovely teal blue with some green highlights. So I'm going to use that in the background. So let me just do the old classic smooshing down with some salvage patina, and we use some crushed olive because that's another of my faves. And we'll just give that a good spritz and see what we get. Because when I don't really know where I'm going, I tend to just want to at least get some colour on. Spritz the cardstock as well, just to allow that ink to travel. Sometimes cardstock can suck up the colour and you just end up, oh, look at that. Are you team green, Adele? Ah, I knew there was a reason I liked you. This is a fab size glass mat, Sylvia. It's I have it to the side of my main mat all the time, but it's a great way of maybe doing a bit of your messy work and not feeling like you've got to completely clean up the whole of the main mat. Let me just give this a little dry, because I think we'll need to go in and get some deeper colours on here as well. But I think, as Mr. Holtz always says when he does that, you want to allow it to dry a little bit before you put another layer of ink on top. Otherwise it just smooshes and smooshes. You want to kind of build the layers up on top of each other. What was I looking for here? Oh, my heat gun, that's right. I'm having a really forgetful day today. You know, one of those walking into rooms and not remembering why you're there. I'm going to Sue. Don't worry. Yes, that is my plan. I'm going to put another bit of distress on it, and then I'm going to put some magicals on. You read my mind. I did a newsletter today for anybody who's not subscribed, just to say that I've got some new Lindy's in the shop, magicals and sprays, and I've got the gorgeous Stamps by Me papers, the all surface papers, for any of you that don't already have them, so I know they're being really popular. And I've got the gorgeous Crafters Workshop stencil butters, the new stencil butters. I've got one on my desk here. I'll show it you in a second. Yeah, I like calendars, Julie. That's a really good one. I like calendars as well because it's artwork for me that serves a purpose. I'll be doing another calendar this year, actually. I'm thinking of doing two. I can do a quick poll while you're all on. I'm thinking of doing two sizes. I'm thinking of doing like an A5 desktop and doing then an A4 one, like a wall one. So the top of it's A5. So the A5 desktop, you've got an A6 area to work on, and with the A4 one, you've got the A5 to work on. Because my mum complained about the one I bought out last year because she likes a bigger calendar. So, you know, I have to now design products that my mother approves of course. Oh, hiya, Jan. Were you an anonymous Facebook user? Thank you for joining us. It's good to see names. Oh, can I? Well, I was like, can I divulge what I'm going to be doing on Saturday, Adele? But that would depend on whether I knew what I was doing on Saturday. I think I'm going to bring with me and have a play with the blooming numbers, because I just adore those stamps and dies. And again, haven't had as much time to play with them as I really want. So I thought I'd maybe do some demos with those, if that meets with your approval, madam. Can you see how that's laid on top of what was there before? You see that? So again, these are quite light colours, but I quite like that when I'm building a journal page, because obviously if you start dark, it's quite hard to know where to go from there. And I want to do a bit of stamping and stenciling and stuff, so I don't want the background colour to overwhelm what I do. And I'll leave my mat here actually, because I am going to follow Sue's fabulous suggestion and put some magicals on as well while the cardstock is still damp. Now, I'm not a good person like what I'm not making any major admission. I'm not an organized person like Nanika, who has swatches of all of these, so I'm never entirely sure what I'm going to get when I spritz the magicals. So I typically go with what I think they're going to do. And so to go with the blues and greens, I've got Tibetan Poppy Teal and Ponderosa Pine Olives, basically green and blue. I don't think my demo is going to be worth a trip, Adele. Hopefully that'll be for the benefit than just watching me. I think Carly's coming now from Imala. She's too organised, Sue. She is too organised. She spoils it for the rest of us, doesn't she? So giving this another spritz, because I don't think it looked wet enough. Though again, I probably created the classic swimming pool. So this, I think this green, this Magicals green is a bit darker than it looks in, than it looks in the tub. And I'm going to try and go across slightly. I mean, obviously there's not, you're not controlling this particularly, but in terms of where I sprinkle, can you see that? Can you see how it moves? I think this is going to work nicely with the salvage patina and the crushed olives. This is where I overdo the sprinkling. So that's the Ponderosa Pines. I think this has got some, this has probably got some gold undertones to it. But it also has got some blues. Can you see those blues coming out already? Fabulous. So I won't put too much of the teal on. Ooh, this is my, I have to say, this is my favourite teal so far from the Magicals. Oh, look at that. Can you see it? I'm hoping you can. I hope my lighting's not too rubbish. I'll just do another little bit at the top. There. Oh, I love seeing it kind of spread out. I'm sure I put way too much on there. I've got a plan to mix some of the Magicals in with some gel medium as well to do some stenciling. So again, trying to ensure that my colours all join up. Look at that. That's pretty, isn't it? Can you see that? Looks it. That's it. I'll let that move a little bit. It was a bit of a straight line there, wasn't it? I know you're a Magicals addict, aren't you, Sue? I'm sure partly your fault that I now have them all over the craft room. Yes, that's a good way of describing them, Ali. Absolutely. So yeah, Magicals are like they're a water reactive kind of dye powder, very concentrated pigment, and one of the fab things about them, but also one of the reasons why sometimes it's worth swatching them, is they often contain more than one color. So when you spritz, you'll see it break into lots of different colors. You don't always know what colors are going to be revealed when you spritz it out, which is part of the magic. But they also do not, there are flat Magicals that don't have mica in, I think, but quite a lot of them have a beautiful shimmer in them too. So yeah, very similar to Brushos. Right, I'm going to let that dry. Can you see that? I'm quite pleased with that background so far. There's plenty of time for me to muck it up now, isn't there? Yes, Dan, yeah, they do a flat range, which, and I think that's got more than one, still has more than one colour in, but is, what am I trying to say? But yeah, it doesn't have the mica component to it. So let's put our mini mat back to where it lives. And so I want to do a bit of stamping and stenciling on this background, but I'm just going to, with that, rather than force drying it, I'm just going to let these Magicals kind of move a little bit and settle before we heat dry. So in the meantime, while I'm waiting for that to occur, let's decorate some of our elements that are going to sit on top of the background. So I've got a frame here from our portrait gallery dies, and I've got obviously the mannequin, and I'm only going to use, in fact I'll cut it down now so it's easier for me to work out. So I'm only going to use the body because obviously I'm going to sit it on top of the leg that I've already got there. So let's think what colours. I don't want everything to be blue and green because obviously I need some contrast. I need something to kind of lift the embellishments off the background. And obviously I've got the Pretty Shabby papers in my buttons, and they're kind of earthy browns and terracottas. So what does that mean? So let's put some brown on this frame, and then we can use some embossing powders to give it a little bit more of a metallic look. Thank you, Jenny. It's hard. Well, I find it hard, as you say, because you get carried away playing with the colour and then you realise you've got a background. It's hard to know where you go from there. Oh, you think pink, do you? You think pink, Adele? Well, I do have the other alternative. Actually, I'll use pink on the bodice. On the body, I was going to use some saltwater taffy, a bit of a softer pink. But with the frame, I'll go kind of more metallic-y. So I've got white cardstock, and this is one of those nice ways that you can, you know, just cut your dies, your shapes out in kind of white or craft or black. You don't always need to know what project you're going to use them on because you can alter them to suit. Hi, Tony. How are you doing, young lady? Were you live in the studio today? I'm getting my days of the week all mixed up. I keep messaging Tony going, are you live? Bank holiday weeks always throw me out. So yeah, we're just going to add this. I think this is Grand Espresso, but any brown ink would do. Because really this is just some base colour. We're going to put some embossing powders over the top. But if I've got some ink down on it already, then I've not got that same pressure of thinking it'll look a bit odd if some of that background shows through the embossing powder. So it's as simple as that. And because I'm using the brush, which I know you have all heard me talk about the brushes so many times, but you can see how this this frame has got quite a lot of kind of twiddly fiddly bits, but I've been able to go over it with the brush without any bending up or kind of creating any issues on that die. So a bit like when it goes over detailed stencils, you can colour quite detailed die cuts with a brush because it's just that bit more forgiving. Oh yeah, Adesu. Did you just mention the purple word? Outrageous. I knew somebody would lower the tone at some point. Yeah, but I think we will go. I think the pink will give us a nice contrast. But I will use it on the body of the mannequin. I think. Should we get some embossing powder on this frame before I go to the mannequin itself? Now I have pulled some out already, and I've got some luxurious chocolate and weathered gold. I'm coming, Tony. I know. It's going to be a busy day. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm really excited. Really excited about it. I've not done one of your open days before. Now, what am I looking for? I'm looking for embossing ink. That's what I'm looking for. Now, I could be more specific and just emboss sections of this frame, but do you know, I'm not going to worry about that too much. Let me get my little mat out again, because then I can put it to one side. Probably should use a bit of paper or something just to see the embossing ink is going to go through the open areas. So yeah. Now I don't know if anybody's noticed that my camera is a bit steadier than normal. I had a brainwave and I have actually attached it to a different table to the one that I'm stamping and stenciling on. So hopefully you're not getting the same degree of motion sickness as you normally do when I'm live. It's only taken me, you know, kind of 6 months to work that out. Bear with me, I'm just getting some paper, some copy paper to catch the ink. No, catch the powder, sorry. What's another way of using kitchen towel? Oh, you mean just using the whole roll? Yeah. Yeah, it's quicker that way. It's quicker that way, Adele. I saw, I think it's Diane Reevely does it. So I thought, all right, well, if that's what pro crafters do, I ought to kind of follow them. So this is a gorgeous, gorgeous dark brown embossing powder. And it's got quite a lot of gold in it. So although it looks very brown now, when we heat set it, quite a lot of gold surfaces. I'm sure you'll have seen me use this in How to Craft Network Studio, because I think it is one of my go-to embossing powders when I want a bit of depth of colour. Just yes, but that's the whole point, Adele. I'm a carefree artist. It doesn't go through as much as you'd expect, actually. Oh, you are distracting me again. Now, here we go. I'm going to heat set my frame. I hope I'm not deafening you all with my heat gun. Probably, I don't know if you'll be able to see it turn from down there. Ooh. Of course, I can lift my wonderful mat up, look. It's just turning now, that gold speckling through. I love embossing powders like this, are like the magicals. You know, you never get the same result twice, and you're not always, it's not always obvious how it's going to look when melted. That's nice. Let me hold that up in case None of it came across there for you. And because we've got brown ink, can you catch that gold there, look? Because we've got brown ink underneath it, I don't really need to worry about doing another layer of embossing powder, because I think it has pretty much covered it, but even if it hadn't, the brown underneath would all look like it was part of the same layer. But I can't ignore the pink posse who want me to add a little bit of pink to this page. I like that, don't you? Do you know, you could just put a frame in the middle with words and you've got that colour moving across. It's still damp. Right, so we've got our bodice here to decorate, and so I thought I'd add a little, we'll add some of this saltwater taffy, and then we'll add a little bit of stamping with one of Olga's gorgeous little background stamps, because it's fine enough detail that it will show on a smallish element like this. So saltwater taffy is the colour I'm going for here. It's a lovely blush colour, isn't it? I was chatting to somebody at the show at Lee at the weekend, and we were saying sponge sugar is just a bit too pale for us. I find it's one of those certainly don't use on TV, because you kind of look up at the monitor and it doesn't like you put anything on your paper. But saltwater taffy is just, for me, it's a nice gentle pink. Hi Jane. Oh, bless you. Honestly, you can't be late, because it's just going where it's going, really. Downhill normally. So what will I do? What will I do here? Shall I now? I've got 3 of the stains from Olga. I've got the dictionary, I've got the ledger, and I've got the script. I think I'm going to go ledger, because it makes me think of, I don't know, for some reason it makes me think of kind of sewing. Yeah, so I won't bother putting this on an acrylic block. Do I go tone on tone? Do I just use saltwater taffy again over the top? Or do you? Yes, I think I will. The reason being, I'm going to put, this is an overlay die from the die set that I've already cut from some of the shabby papers in brown. So I think if I add another colour to the base, to the solid base, we'll lose the lovely detail from that overlay. This saltwater taffy is a bit dry. It doesn't really matter when you're stamping with Distress Oxides. You're not looking for a perfect image. Can you see? So I'm not even gone to the bottom. Nakey pink. Was that a sponge? Was that a sponge sugar or saltwater taffy, Ali? Naked pink. Right, so I'm just going to go over this with that A7 stamp. Just freehand. And we get what we get. Oh, I don't know what colour I had on there, but there's some blues coming through as well. Can you see? Bluey purple. I like that. So, I mean, again, this is a very fine detail background stamp. So, I mean, you probably can't see on camera here, but the Distress Oxide is not giving you that crisp finish, but it's still giving you a better stamped image than you get with necessarily Distress ink, which isn't really designed for stamping with. Let me just do a bit of cleaning up, given how Adele likes to see me using a kitchen roll. Look at that. Job done. So let's adhere this. I've trapped my mannequin. There it is. Let's adhere this to the base. Can you see where it's going? And then we can put this over the top. I think that will work nicely. So what actually, top tip, I'm going to adhere this first because then we can cut this top off and we'll have wood at the top and the base. Who's still on their holidays? That's outrageous. Is that our Barb? Is Barb still on holiday, Adele? Honestly. So this is quite a narrow area to get your glue on, but there is enough there to get it stuck down. And we'll stick this over the top. So by the end of this, we've created quite a substantial embellishment because we're going to have 2 layers on the body, well 3 layers on the body if we count this top one as well. So can you see? But there's little details of that bit of stamping in the background will make all the difference. Yeah, Plymouth will be a bit far. Oh, she only went yesterday. Sorry, I thought she was already in Spain. Right, so let's decapitate our mannequin. Look at that. And then you can see how that will look seamless. Just get a spray tanner down. So let's just stick this down. I like that. I like that. I think that's, and hopefully, based on the advice from my trusted viewers here, this pink with the brown will give enough contrast with the bluey green background. And throughout, with our wood grain washy around the edge with the brown frame, we've got that kind of recurring brown element as well, just to kind of pull it together and keep those colours quite muted. Look at that. That's looking good, isn't it? I'm keeping an eye on time as well, but I think we've got a bit of time here to... Oh, blimey. This is still quite wet. This is because I always saturate my card when I'm using my magicals. Let me give it a little blast and then we'll do a bit of stamping around the edge. And also I wanted to stamp this image from the this gorgeous stamp set. So the one with kind of the scissors and the spool of thread. I mean, you can see here's the journal page. This large typewriter sewing machine, the floral sewing machine, would hold its own, but actually it would be too big in conjunction with the die cut elements we're putting on. But I think this cluster of sewing embellishments will look nice. So let's just give it a little bit of a blast. It doesn't need to be bone dry. And I do want to stencil as well, but I'm not sure I'm going to have time to do that. And it may not need it. Don't always have to put everything onto the page. It is a nice background though, this, isn't it? It does. It just completes that kind of sewing theme, doesn't it, Susan? They are lovely illustrations from Charlotte. She's got a beautiful eye. She just creates really elegant drawings, and they're all they're not all, but normally they've got that kind of, other than a nose, they've got that kind of elements of kind of floral bits kind of drawn into them, which I always think looks beautiful. So let's get this down, and then we know what stamping around we can do to draw the eye in, because I'm so in love with the background, I don't want to overpower it, you see. So I could go in here. I was thinking of going in with Fallen Leaves, the VersaFine Claire, but I'm wondering whether that might be a bit heavy. But we are having those browns, aren't we? So yeah, let me do that. I don't want to introduce another colour at this time, and certainly don't want to do it in black. Is this block big enough? Let me get my Eureka. Why did I put my Eureka? Here it is. It's still in my bag. Am I still in my bag from Lee? Yeah. I'm not worried about getting a perfect impression, but this card is still in the wobbly stages of drying. And the stamp's too big for my acrylic block, so Eureka will save the day. I'm just slightly taking it off the edge here, the stamp. Let's see how we go on. So yeah, so this is a dark brown VersaFine Clair, and because although this is still damp, VersaFine Clair is water resistant, so I'm relatively confident about stamping and not getting a lot of bleed. If I stamped with the Distress, there's probably still too much moisture in the card and it would wick out. A lovely effect, but not necessarily what I'm going for on this occasion. You see, I don't know if you can see here, I'll lift it up when I've done it, but there's a butterfly on the spool of thread. Just has all these lovely little whimsical elements in her drawings. That's come out nicely. Let's put that to one side. So yeah, there we go. So there's a little butterfly there. So again, beautiful to colour in and enjoy that. Enjoy the image and bring it to life. I'm using it here really as a bit of a background accent because of the die cut pieces we're going to build on. But let me add some stamping around the edge. Let's go with some script. And I will, so this is one of Olga's mini A7 stains. Background stains. She hates me calling them stains. And I'm only really going to work in from the edges here, but of course the stamp's then got that lovely natural edge to it, so you're not going to worry about an A7 kind of giving you a straight edge. You can just stamp off the edge and you get that more organic look. Now I could go with Warm Breeze, which would be a bit darker. I think I might do that actually, because I think if I went with Salvage Patina, it's just a little bit too pale. And it'll still give me a tone on tone look. So let's see. Let's see how we get on. Not using an acrylic block here because, again, this is giving you that bit of background. We'll go, yeah, here. In fact, I don't even know if I've done it upside down, but it's a very tiny script, so I think we'll get away with it. Go with our threes. Let's just put a little bit in this bottom corner here. Yeah. Oh, can you zoom in, Jane? Oh, I'm glad I'm not pointing, the camera's not pointing forward then. Oh, I didn't know that on YouTube. So yeah, here we go. So we've got some a bit more interesting around the edges here. And just I keep putting my main elements back just so I kind of get a sense of how much space I've got and whether there's too much empty space. Because I could do a bit of stenciling here with the sewing pattern, which if I do it in the Salvage Patina won't be very visible, but will just be a bit more interest. We'll decapitate that lady. So this is a cool stencil because it's just that kind of like vintagey 50s kind, I think, in my head, 50s style sewing pattern look to it. Yeah. So you mean you can do that? Kind of like you do when you're taking a photo to bring it in. I didn't know you could do that on YouTube. Right, salvage patina. And I'm really not wanting this to be too strong. There we go. Can you even see that? It is there, I can see it, but I'm not sure it will come up on the, you'll have to zoom, everyone, zoom on in. I'm trying to also avoid the stamped element in the corner. Can you see that? Just a little bit there. I like that. So we've got still things working on that diagonal. I'm not going to add any more stenciling on this occasion. I was tempted, I was planning to, I'll do it on another live. I was going to put some of the magicals into some of the heavy body gel to colour it, but still have a kind of translucent embossing gel that then would give you quite a subtle look on the background, but it's still a bit too damp. And as I say, I think we're going to end up with enough things going on here without me adding more texture to it. So let's put our gold frame there, brownie gold frame. Isn't that true, Jane? I think we all have got used to that. I'm sure I've seen years ago, even on you know, kind of YouTube or Facebook or whatever, you know, a little film of a toddler with a paper magazine, and they're trying to swipe it because they don't understand that it's actually pages that turn. So I'm just, now again, you could use foam pads, and you could, you know, do some gorgeous things with these frames to give them dimension. But again, I'm conscious this is going in a journal, so I'm not wanting to lift up too much on this occasion. Now, my next dilemma, you can see that's going to look nice. I'm going to offset it off the frame there. My next dilemma is the die set comes with some wings. I've snipped the antennae off the butterfly, but you can use it as a full butterfly. Is, do we add some wings? Do we add wings to our mannequin, or do we leave our mannequin without? Answers on a postcard for fastest fingers. Let me know. It's got a solid base as well, but I think if I put a solid base, it will get lost on that background. You could put vellum behind the wings, of course. What do we think? With wings or without wings? It would echo the little butterfly, wouldn't it, there, quite nicely. You like the wings, Jenny? Wings? What's that? No. Was it no to the wings, Adele? You've been outnumbered there. Oh, yes. Good point. Good question, Susan. While the wings, no wings, with wings, you see, I've got 3 wings already with wings. This, Susan, good question, because I did have it on my desk. This is the stencil butter. So it's from the Crafters Workshop, and I already have quite a range of all their previous colours, but they've brought out some lighter kind of summery shades. So it is effectively a texture paste. It has a lovely gentle shimmer to it, and one of the reasons I like it, and I was thinking I could use it on here, actually it would go nicely, wouldn't it? The sea foam, this was sea foam, is it's got a nice consistency. As you can see, it's quite a nice solid paste, not solid, that's an exaggeration, but it's got a nice substance to it for going over your stencils. So I find it a nice one to work with without getting bleed. It's not too liquid. So that's what stencil butter is in a nutshell, if you've not come across it before. Oh, Maxine, letting us down here, sitting on the fence like that. Right, I think the wings have it, so I'm going with wings. Oh, I see it. Adele will fall out with me now. So, but I'm going wings, Del. You can take it out on me at the weekend. Add a bit of glue in the back here. Where do we go? They're nice sizes, but one of the reasons I wanted to do the butterfly in this die set is it's a standalone element of it in its own, and it's quite a big butterfly. So you don't need to be using it in any way related to sewing at all. But that's why it's called winged mannequin. Is you've got your solid and your detailed wings. You've also got two options for the body on the mannequin. You've got the one that we've used in this layout, and you've got one which has kind of got like a peony pattern cut out of it, which is really pretty as well. So I just like to, if I'm putting shapes into a die set, I like to feel that you could use them beyond the specific collection that it comes with. I think that goes quite nicely there, doesn't it? Let's stick it down. Have you not, Jane? Crikey, you're such a super crafter. I would have thought you'd use stencils with them, with texture paste. I mean, it's one of those things, I won't lie at all, is that, I was just saying I could put the magical powders to colour the clear gel. You can absolutely customise a white or a clear paste. So you've got lots of different mediums, and you can add kind of your water reactive powders, you can add inks. There's lots of things you can add to add colour to a paste. So products like this are just giving you that already in the bottle, and you're going to get consistency, because obviously the whole tub's the same. If you do a batch of texture paste and use it and then try and mix some more, you don't always get exactly the same colour. But if you're just starting out and wanted to try a paste or a gel, then something like this Pentart one, the clear one, is got the same kind of solidity as the stencil butter, and then you could colour it yourself and see whether you like it. I'm always happy to go with both ways of doing things. The last thing I'm going to do to my layout is I'm liking that pink was a good call, wasn't it? Because it really just lift it forward. So now all I'm going to do is add a couple of buttons from the die set. Just got them laid up, as I said at the beginning, on a bit of cardstock to give them dimension. One of the things I really like to do is, because they've got some substantial kind of, it's probably not the best colour, substantial kind of holes in there, is you could add thread through them. So for example, I've got a whole thing, because I used to do cross stitch, I've got a whole thing of different coloured threads. So really nice one, nice way of customising them is is putting some thread through and knotting that, and it gives an even more realistic embellishment. So I'm going to add a little green button heart to the middle of our mannequin to tie that together. These are all the shabby papers, so I know they're all going to work together. Stuck it onto craft, so I felt that wouldn't add any difficult contrast. Another way of kind of really harmonising your die cuts is obviously inking around the edge. Yeah, it's pretty, isn't it? It looks like they're in a rainbow if you've got them all kind of in a holder like that. And I haven't stitched for ages, I used to love stitching. So I'm going to go with a heart. This is the faffing bit. I feel like these buttons are maybe a bit big. Just going to go with the small ones. And they've all got texture in, or you know, the effect of texture in them, because the papers have got that kind of subtle patterning in there. And of course you can add glossy accents to them, or clear embossing powder, and give them another level of dimension. Oh, have you got a Dina Wakley journal there, Adele? Yeah, I have those, and then I always struggle with the fabric pages. But the person who would be amazing to kind of give you ideas for that is Claire Stead. She's one of our designers. Art Journal Love is her YouTube channel, because she's one of the designers on the design team for Dina, and uses all of her new products, and she does amazing journal pages. I think with the denim pages and the calico pages, you can do whatever you want to. Like, you could, but you can tell I'm a bit stuck. Belinda, have you used that? The fabric pages in the Dina journals. Because I've got them and I like the idea, but then I kind of get to that page and then feel a bit stuck. So I'm just, actually, no. Let me layer these, otherwise they'll look a bit strange. I'll put a bigger one here underneath. Look at that. That's going to go nice. And we've got an even number there, so that won't work. So we need, is that 2? No. This has been chatting away. I've been far too gung-ho sticking these down. Should go with another heart. Should go with heart there. Oh, Lord. That last element. Oh, I tell you, let me look at my other buttons here. What about this? With the text on it. I think that might work. Yeah, they're really, really cool journals, I have to say, the Dina Wakley ones. And she does ones with the mixed substrates in, so different surfaces to work on. But I'm with Adele. I have it's the fabric ones I've always got a bit stumped by. So the last thing to do on this before you all drop off. Look at that, I think that was good. She says, a note of surprise, is to put a sentiment here. Now we've got sewing is my superpower. Oh, I know what I'm going to use. Beautiful things come together one stitch at a time. Now, do you know what? I'm going to do that after the live, because I'm feeling now that I want to put that on a piece of card, emboss it and stick it down, rather than putting it in that space. Otherwise it will be too many things. We've got a kind of a corner going there, and I don't want to plonk another element. Does that make sense to you? I don't want to plonk another element here, otherwise it will be too many places for your eye to dot around. Yeah, Steph, that's a good shout. I will absolutely add some thread. Yeah, I like that. So I'm going to add those finishing bits after the live. Yes, it was a great idea, Adele. I owe it all to you. The journals. I think if you just look for Dina Wakley mixed media art journals, you'll find them. Art from the Heart definitely have them, which is an online shop, and Stampers Grove probably have them as well. In fact, I don't know if I know. I'm very sure Tony at Stamps by Me's had them at some point. I don't know if she's got any in at the moment. I think she's definitely had them in the past. Yeah, but if you look up Dina Wakley Mixed Media Journal, then you'll land on somebody who supplies it. So yeah, I think the only things that I will do after the live, and then I'll share a picture, is add my sentiment, and I'll probably stick some thread up behind it like Steph was suggesting. I'm probably going to map this onto something else because I'm now feeling like the wood is a bit overpowering. Oh, you did get yours from Tony Adele. Yeah, I don't know if she's got them anymore though. So yes, I think I'm going to add it onto a map before I put it onto the wood. Sentiment with some thread, and then I think I'm going to call it done. And obviously I'll share a photo in the group. But as it is now, I think that looks okay. I hope you like it, everyone. Yes, I want to see all of you doing more art journaling now we've explained what it's for. But yeah, you see, I mean, I'm not sure who I'd send this to if it was a card, but I know I'll enjoy seeing it in my journal. And then, of course, in my journal, I've already got a completely other random page in a different style with the dog. That's what I like about journals, is you can explore different themes and learn as you go. Right. I'm not going to witter on anymore. Do check out the Facebook. The last thing I'd say is do check out our Facebook group tomorrow, because we're going to start monthly challenges tomorrow, being June, and we're going to do monthly challenges in the group where you can win a prize at the end. One entry will be randomly selected for a voucher for the shop. So hopefully you're all members of the Facebook group already, but it'd be lovely to see you all making and sharing makes in the group during June on the theme that we have chosen. So thank you for your company. Not too far over the hour, so not too bad. And I am so looking forward to sharing another Wednesday with you next week, I think it is. So, and otherwise, I'll see some of you on Saturday, hopefully at Stamps by Me. But until then, enjoy the rest of your week, and thank you again for spending the evening with me. Bye for now.